welcome to the Cozy Meadow Knits podcast. This is episode 37. My name is Sophie and I'm coming to you from the province of New Brunswick, which is located on the east coast of Canada, where I live with my husband and our two kids. And this is a knitting podcast. I'm an obsessed knitter, which really means that I want to knit all the things, and this is where I share all my recent makes and all my dream knitting and all the yarn, all the good stuff. So today is March 1st, and it is Saturday. My husband and my son are here in the house, so if you hear any little pitter patter, it's them, and that's okay. This is real life. Okay, so if you're new, welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I just truly appreciate everyone who is watching, and okay, yeah, I guess let's get started. You can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Cozy Meadow Knits. I do have an email address as well. Everything that I'll talk about today and the yarn, the makers, the patterns will all be linked down below. And I also share a recipe. I have a good one today. Yeah, so welcome. Let's get started for reals now. It's been a little bit. I have been very busy knitting, very busy with kids sports, a lot of kids sports. But it's been a little bit, so I have a lot to show you guys. I have 3 finished objects, 2 works in progress. I think I have more than that, but I will only show you 2 or 3. I'm not sure. I lose count. And I have some dream knitting as well. Okay, so I hope you're comfortable. Let's get into it. The first thing that I am going to talk about is my finished object number 1, which is what I'm wearing today. It is called the Forsythian sweater by Jennifer Steingass, who is also known as Knit Love Wool, I think. And yeah, so I finished the sweater probably almost a month ago now. Yeah, and I absolutely love it. I can talk a little bit about the pattern, but I've talked about this before in my previous episodes. If you haven't watched, you can go and see those ones too. But yeah, so it is a top-down sweater. So you knit the neckline and then you go into some increases, and then there's this super fun colorwork section for the yoke, and then you split for sleeves and then you knit down. I will put in a video here of me standing up and showing how it fits, because I am sitting on a little cushion on the floor right now and I can't stand up. Yeah. So I absolutely loved working on this. This was so much fun to do. The yarn that I've used, actually the yarn weight is, it's a sport weight pattern, and it requires 3 different colors, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of switched up a little bit how the colors are in the pattern. All of those details are in my project page if you want to see. Yeah, so, oh, and the yarn that I used is by Yarn Indulgences. It is her Rustic Sport weight yarn. I love it. I don't have a ball band. No, I don't have one handy with me, but yeah, so it's all of her sport weight yarn. I think this was called Buttermilk. This was called Teddy Bear, if I am not mistaken. And this was called something mauve, Moody Mauve, maybe? I'm not sure, but yeah. Yeah, so for the neck and the ribbing, I did a twisted rib. In the pattern, I think there are 2 different necklines that you can do. There's a ribbed one, and there's also, I think, a rolled neckline. Not sure, but I think there's 2 options in there. And I can put a little bit of a close-up of the color work. I'm sliding on my little cushion there. Yeah. Anyways, it was so much fun to knit. It made me fall in love with colorwork knitting again. So I have the itch to cast on more colorwork stuff. I think that's all I can say about the sweater. I think I made size 4. Yeah, pretty sure. And yeah, so that's my Forsythian sweater, first finished object. Love it, highly recommend. The pattern is very well written. Her patterns, Jennifer Steingass, she's a colorwork genius. I don't know, like I really love all of her patterns. You can't really go wrong. This is the second pattern that I've knit from her and not my last. Yeah, so if you like colorwork and not too complicated colorwork, I highly recommend to check her out. Check her patterns in Ravelry. Okay, did I say everything? I think so. I am not in a rush, but I'm trying to get through this without too many cuts. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna continue on my successful train right now, and I'm gonna talk about my second finished object. Oh, look at the color. Oh, I love it. I love it, but there's some issues with it. Let me start from the beginning. This is my Wilfreda sweater. This is the second time I am knitting this sweater. Yeah, I absolutely adore it. I've talked about it before, in my previous episodes. So it is finished. I love it. I love it. With a little asterisk there. Okay, let's explain. These are the sleeves, and then I finished the hem, and the ends are still not woven in. I'll tell you why. But if you've never heard about this pattern, you need one. Everyone needs one. It fits so well. If you love the ranunculus and if you love the love note, those are two sweaters that are in a similar gauge as this. It's a DK weight sweater. You are going to love this one. I'm telling you, everyone needs one. It's like, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if the ranunculus and the love note had a baby, it would be this one. Okay. Yeah, so it's knit top down. You go into increases, then you knit the yoke, which has this cable detail. It's very cute. It's not hard at all. It looks, it might look impressive and very hard. It is not at all. There are only two rows where you're going to cable, and everything else, it's like pearls or like eyelets or yarn overs. It's very, very well written. Highly recommend. Anyway, so yeah, so you do that, and then you finish up with some raglan increases, and then so you can try on the sweater a little bit with the yoke. If you feel you need a little bit more material, you go into some raglan increases, and then you split for sleeves, knit the body. It also has a high-low hem, which I absolutely love. Very similar to the love note. And yeah, pattern's great. My gauge is not so great. Yeah, so for this one, I tried it on. I will put up a video. I already took video of this, and yeah, I am in love with the color. I'm in love with the sweater. Oh, and the yarn that I am using, I held 2 strands. I should have said that before. 2 strands of yarn. One fingering weight yarn by Ancient Arts. I forget the color, but it's amazing. It has a little bit of silk in it, and so it has this like really nice sheen. Love that yarn. Would definitely use it again. I need more. What else? Oh, and a strand of mohair by Drops. Kid Silk Mohair. Okay, so for the sweater, I am off on gauge. Completely my fault. I wanted the material, just wanted the material to be not as open, thinking that I could get away with going down a needle size. I have no idea. I have no idea why my head went that way. Yeah, I just don't know. So the pattern calls for a 6mm needle for gauge, if you get gauge with that. I do not. I need to go up. I'm a tight knitter, so I need to go up a needle size to 6.5mm. That's what I used for my Love Note. That's what I used for my Wilfreda #1, which I love the fit. It is very roomy, and I don't know why. I just don't know why I didn't stick with the 6.5. I went with the 6. I was like, yeah, it's gonna work. Yeah, no, I'm off. Totally off on gauge. I thought it would block out. I didn't block it aggressively. It did grow in blocking, but not as much as I thought it would. And yeah, so it's a little bit snug on me. That, and I just keep on gaining weight. What? I'm like, I don't understand what is happening. I am gradually, it's not a fast gaining weight thing, but I am gradually just gaining weight. And I'm like, what the heck? It's pissing me off. But yeah, so I don't know about this one. It's gorgeous. And it does fit. It's not super tight fitting. It's not even tight. It's just, it falls more like, you know, like this. And I'm not used to like that. So what I'm gonna do, this is my Hail Mary. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. The bind off on the body is a bit snug. I don't have that much give on it as much as I would want. I use an amazing technique. It's called the Hiyahiya something bind off. Leanne from the Nitty Stew actually suggested it to me a couple of months ago, and I have been using that. It's an awesome bind off, and I am going to use it again in this. It's just that I did it a little bit too tight. So I will link that down below, that technique for the bind off. It is very similar. It looks like a sewn bind off, but without having to have that long tail when you're doing a sewn bind off. There's a little bit of shuffling on the needles, but still totally worth it. This is all I've been using for the bind off. I don't know if you can see, but it's a really pretty bind off as well. Anyway, it's just a little bit too tight. So I'm gonna do it again. It's gonna take some time to like unravel it because I need to be in the right headspace, but I'm gonna do it again, then block it again and see how I like it. If ever it doesn't work like I want it to, and I don't, you know, tend to grab it into wear, I will rip it back and I will knit it again. When? Not now. Because I love the pattern, but I've already done it twice. But I don't know. Maybe even, that is a thought, maybe I can go back and reknit the whole body, but not the yoke. That is interesting. My wheels in my brain are turning. Maybe I can go where I split for sleeves and cast on more stitches. Right? Maybe. Nancy, will that work? Nancy Wheeler is my garment alteration guru. Yeah, check her out. She has a podcast, Knits It Happy. But yeah, I think that could work. Do I still want to do that? No. But I might do that if I really don't like the fit of it. I would definitely do that. It wouldn't take time. This knits up super fast, guys. Anyway, that's my story. That's enough of it. The Wilfreda, I love it. Love the yarn. I just need to love the fit. Totally my fault. Totally. Anyway. All right. That was my second finished object. Sorry for the long rant or story, whatever. Yeah. So the third finished object. They're socks. Look at these socks. Oh my gosh, I love them. Okay, so this is a test knit that I did for Nancy Wheeler, and she, I think her pattern came out for this. It's already out. Her patterns are on sale. She has a lot of sock patterns, great sock patterns with a lot of info, tips, and tricks, and all of it. She's having a sale. It's 25% off her sock patterns. Her sock patterns are $5 Canadian. Like, super great deal. Anyway, so check that out. If you want, go check her out. Anyways, this was a test knit for her most recent pattern that she released called A Collection of Columns, which is a pattern that includes 6 different column patterns. The column pattern are charted, and I think they're written out as well. Instructions in her pattern, which basically it's like choose your own adventure, basically pattern. She has all the instructions on the count of stitches in the sock, and the columns are 8 stitches. So you can plug those columns wherever you want in the sock, and it's gonna look great. You can go look at the different projects from the other testers, and some used multiple columns on the back, on the front, and like more repeats and stuff, and they look all great. It was a pattern that was released in collaboration with Turtle Pearl yarn, which is actually the yarn that I used for the sock. So the body of the sock is self-striping yarn by Turtle Pearl Yarns, who is a dyer actually that is local to me. She's amazing. She's in New Brunswick. And yeah, so I had this in my stash for a little bit, and when Nancy put out the test call and she said that these columns would work great with self-striping, I was like, this is it. It's perfect. I will be able to use up the yarn finally, and have a great pattern for a sock. Now I'm just gonna show you. I chose to do one column. I chose one column pattern, but I did it twice on the sock. So this is a little cable detail column. So in this charted pattern, there was like 2 cables, and I did it. It runs down on the sock to the toe, and as you can see here, this is really hard to show. Okay, yeah, so I have those 2 running down the front of the foot. And like I said, other testers, some use this and then they put another column in the middle with a different pattern. Anyway, it's really cool, and you can just plug and play with it. So the cuff instructions, it's a 1x1 rib, it's a top-down knit, and then you go into the ribbing, and then you go into the body of the sock. So you're letting also the self-striping shine. Some used more and it looked great, and with this self-striping yarn, I just thought it just looked classy. I don't know. And this color is called City Girl. Love it, love it. I used the contrast color for the toes and the heel, toes, heels, and cuffs, yes. Which was by, it's Red Island Fiber. Amanda, she is a dyer in, I was gonna say Nova Scotia, that is not true. She is from PI. Anyways, I had it in my stash. So that was a stash busting project for me. So highly recommend the pattern. I think that's all I'm gonna say about that, and I highly recommend the yarns as well. And if you've never had, if you've never heard of Turtle Pearls yarn, go check her out. Her colors are awesome. I actually need more. So anyway, that is my last finished object. Okay, so I guess we can go into whips. I'm looking for my little, where's my, oh, I had notes. Oh, here, sorry. Let me just check if I said everything. I think so. Yep. Okay, first whip I'm going to talk about is a Lento. This is a new cast on that I have cast on lately. Let's just take a moment. Let's take a moment to look at this color. It is gorgeous. Okay, this is my new Lento sweater. This is Lento number 2. I am not someone who like reknits a lot of patterns, but this is my second one of this as well. Nancy is actually, she wanted to cast one on, and I'm like, I have yarn. I want to cast on too. And I actually wanted to make another one as well. And this yarn, I knew it was going to be beautiful just with no patterning, just a plain sweater, and that's what the Lento is. It is another sweater that is DK weight. I am holding a strand of fingering weight yarn by Ginger Snap in the color called Ravish, I think, or Ravishing, Ravish, I think. Anyway, and then I am holding it with, I can show you the skeins, I guess. Sorry. Oh, oops. So yeah, so this is, hi. I don't know if you can hear that, and there was somebody beeping right on the road. Anyway, yeah, so, and this is some drop kid silk mohair that I am holding with the yarn, and it's a 15 stitch gauge. So again, with a more open gauge, relaxed fit, quick knit. It is obviously a top-down construction. You start with a neckline and then you go into some raglan increases. I'm almost done the raglans. I'm gonna try it on, not right now because I am melting. But yeah, I think I'm pretty close. And then I'm going to split for sleeves and knit, and I'll have more of this to show next time. What else can I say about this one? Again, this is an easy breezy pattern. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so with this one as well, I had started with 6mm needles, which is what is said in the pattern, which is not what I used on my first one. Again, my brain, I don't know where it went. Where is it? I don't know. It's not up there. Yeah, so I knit probably up to here in the raglan increases. Checked my gauge. I wasn't even close. So I ripped back to the neckline, just a neck ribbing, and then I restarted it. I'm like, I'm not knitting this whole garment just like I did on the other one and to not be like the fit of it. So I ripped back and started again. It literally took me maybe a day or two to get back to where I was before. So quick knit, I highly recommend. That's all I'm gonna say about this one because there's not much to show, but stay tuned for this one. It's so soft. And I just love how deep, look at how deep the color is. So good. Okay, so that's whip number 1. Whip number 2, here. I'm surrounded by chaos here. Yarny goodness chaos, but chaos nonetheless. This is a lingering whip. Not too much of a lingering whip, but was in hibernation, and it's like this. Can you tell what it is? Yeah, it is the Pressed Flower Cardigan by Amy Christoffers. You've probably seen at least this patterning if you've been on Ravelry. Yeah, you've seen this before. This is not a new pattern. It's been out for probably a couple years now. Sorry, put that there. Okay, so I can tell you where I am at on this one. I split for sleeves. So this is the back. I had to put it on holders. And then I split for sleeves. And this is my front panels. It's really, really awkward to show right now, but I'll just show you quickly and then I'll talk about the yarn and the things. So I finished my first, I don't even know, what is this? What is it? Okay, yeah, it's the front flap. Okay, yes. See, okay. I knew it was coming. Okay. So I finished the first left front flap. I don't know. Okay, and then I'm on the second one. I look ridiculous. Like, don't go and pause this video and take a picture or anything and post it, okay? This is not flattering. Okay. Oh God. Yeah, so this is the second flap. I'm working on it. Okay, so let's, from the beginning, this is a bottom-up construction. You start with the ribbing on the bottom, you cast on a whole bunch of stitches, and then you do the ribbing, and then you go into this beautiful, beautiful mosaic knitting pattern, which looks like flowers. If you've never done mosaic knitting, it sounds really complicated. It did to me anyways. It scared me. But seriously, it is not hard at all. It's actually enjoyable. Yes, Darlene, I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. Darlene's a knitter that I see at Knit Night, and she was knitting on it too, and she finished hers. And she kept asking me, what did you do with your, like, where is it at, your pressed flowers? She's like, it's a lot of knitting, isn't it? Like, do you still like it? And I'm like, I do. And I picked it up again. So I had left it before Christmas. Christmas hit and I wanted to knit all of the gift knits in like less than 2 weeks before Christmas, which was ridiculous. But so that's why I put it away and I finally picked it up again. So yeah, so bottom up, you knit the back piece, or you knit until you split for sleeves. Yeah, and then you knit the front flap. And then I'm gonna knit the top back part, and then you attach it. And then you knit sleeves. So I still have a lot of work on this left, but I can tell you the yarn that I'm using is, I actually have one ball band. This is, it is a sport weight pattern. I'm using DK weight. It's still working out, so I'm just going with it. This, oh, look at all of these beautiful, and my beautiful white hair. Shedding like a dog. Yeah, so this is yarn by Legacy Lane Fibre, which is a local to me, New Brunswick yarn shop and dyer. So I don't remember what this, anyways, all of that, no, it's not in my project page. I went to go check. Anyway, I'll have to update my project page with the color name of this. I have one skein left that is not balled up, so I will do that update. But it's a beautiful color, and I absolutely love how there's so many different colors, and I knew that it would just work really well and be the star of the show in the cardigan. I am using also a very economical yarn for my main color, and it's Barocco Vintage Baby. Yeah, so I'm actually really enjoying this, this yarn, actually. I am not mad at it at all. It is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. And yeah, so it's working really well. I've been working on it, and it's, I'm always touching it and like balling it up, and it doesn't seem to be pilling or anything, so I'm actually really impressed by this yarn. And it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect for my cardigan. I love it. Okay, so let's just take a moment and look. I don't know if you can see this. Look at all the beautiful colors that are popping out right there. Oh, I love it so much. And obviously as well on the flowers. So I'm gonna stop there because I've explained a little bit how I knit it in other episodes. Yeah, so this is my pressed flower. More to come. I'm actually really enjoying knitting on it. You do have to pay attention. So I knit on it sometimes at night. Like this is the first thing that I will grab at night and do a couple of rows or however many I want to. And when I'm like, okay, I can't, brain is dead, I set it aside and then I just knit on my Lento or, something that doesn't require much attention or concentration. And that's it. So that one's that. The third, where is it? The third work in progress is somewhere. It's somewhere. Where is it? Oh, here. Sorry, right behind me. I'm sorry. I'm Canadian. I'm going to say sorry a lot. I'm sorry. Ugh. Okay. This is my third work in progress. And I just remembered that I need to find the book that actually inspired these socks. So give me a sec. I have a little story and I need to find the book. Just one moment. Okay, I got the book. Just before Valentine's Day, I went into Chapters, which is a bookstore, and I was browsing. I've been reading a little bit more lately. Yeah, and I've always been a reader, but ever since I'm a knitter, that's all I want to do. So kind of reading kind of took like the back seat, and but I've been reading a little bit more now. And I went in and I was like, I'm just gonna look at books because my daughter was in the mall and she was just browsing. So I was like, I'm just gonna go look at books. And I finally settled on one. I was gonna buy one. I don't even remember what it was. And then I saw this package. I don't know, I think I still have a picture. I'll put it up here. I was standing in line with my book that I had chosen and I was going to buy it. And then there was a display with these books that were wrapped up in brown paper. So it was kind of like a surprise bag. It was a surprise book and they had marketed, really good marketing there, like your book boyfriend or or your book date for Valentine's Day or whatever. Anyways, I'm a sucker for romance, so that's all I want to read. Anyway, so there was like, I don't know, there were like 5 or 6. They were all wrapped up and there was a lot of ladies that were looking at it and I'm like, oh, what was that? And I'm like, oh my. And then it had a blurb and then there were like little spicy hot peppers that would tell you how spicy the book was. Anyway, so I just like went in there and I just kind of like, not pushed, but I just went over and I yanked the book up and I'm like, it had vampires in it and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm getting. I had no idea what the book was. Haven't read a lot of recent books, so I was fairly certain I had not read this book yet. Anyway, I was all excited, got home and then I opened it and it was this book. So full disclosure, it is a spicy book. So yeah, it's a spicy book. Anyway, but still it had vampires and werewolves and anyway, I was kind of excited because I had heard about this book. Anyway, I was all excited. And then I don't know how, and I don't know why, but I know why, because I have yarn on the brain, like literally every second of my day, I have yarn on the brain. So I was really excited, and then I'm like, you know what? I have yarn that kind of like is moody and might match this book. And so I went in my stash. I basically like dove into it. I have a cupboard. No, it's not a cupboard. It's my coffee table, and it opens up, and it's like a chest of wonders. Like it has like all of my yarn, some of my yarn, whatever it fits in there of my yarn. And I just like basically like dove in, and then I grabbed this. This is by the Frosted Stitch. I'll show you the band because I got it. I remember not to, I put it in my bag. So anyway, it is what is it? Frosted Stitch. This is from my memory that I wasn't there at Knit City, Toronto last year. All of my friends went, or well, a lot of them went. Nancy was there, and I told her, grab me a skein, a moody Sophie skein, moody, whatever, surprise me. And she did. And so she brought this. I had never heard, she's a Canadian dyer. I think that's right. It is on her Snowflake sock. It's 75/25 merino nylon, and it's called Junkhead. So it was probably, I think, an Archie kind of color. Anyway, so this is the moody skein that Nancy had picked, and I absolutely loved it. And I remembered about it when I saw the book. I don't know why, I was like, ooh. So book, yarn, it's moody. It doesn't match really like completely, but to me it did. And I got ridiculously excited, which makes no sense to a lot of people, but to me, ridiculously excited. So I cast on a sock. I was like, I would like book socks, like socks, books like that kind of like reminds me of the book that I'm gonna read, or the book that I really enjoyed reading, and I want to make a sock out of it. So this is the sock that I came up with. It is not my pattern, but it's not solely one pattern either. Either. I'm French. Either. Okay, so what I did is I cast on and did a row of purl one, knit one in a contrast color, which is the same yarn that I used on my Wilfreda from Ancient Arts yarn. Then I did some ribbing, and then I finished off again with the contrast color. All of these instructions are in my project page because I need to remember, because I need to do it again on the second sock. And then I went into this patterning. Look, oh, there we go. Look at the texture. I just wanted a whole textured sock. I don't know, that's what I had in my brain. So I wanted this kind of, it's not lattice, but it's kind of like, you know those window panes? I'm just going off here. I hope everybody's not like incredibly bored out of my excitement over these socks. But I just picture like, not in castles, but like in older styled houses, and they have those window panes with like, they're like crossed like this, like diamond shape. Well, this is kind of what I wanted to do and what it reminded me of, and it's totally moody. So this chart, this is not a pattern. It is a chart that I took from Nancy Wheeler's pattern of stitch sampler socks, which I tested in the fall. And it's again kind of like the column of what was it, the collection of columns that I talked about. It's another pattern where she has I think there were 10 different little charts in that pattern, and you could choose whichever you wanted, choose your own adventure. This one was one of the charts that were in it, so I modified it. It's a 7-row repeat in her pattern, and I put in an extra row because to be able to do this continuously throughout the sock. So right now I'm on the heel flap. I am going to do an eye of partridge with 2 colors. Why am I making these so complicated? I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I love it. I love every second of it. It is a slow knit for me, but it gives me all the feels. It makes me super happy. And then I read the book. I'm already done. It was delicious. I ate it up. Again, spicy. If you don't like spicy reads, do not read this one. I liked it. I'm sorry. Anywho, so I got super excited about that. And I needed to tell someone. So I did. I told Leanne. Leanne's one of my friends from St. John. And I told also Heather. She is Wheelhouse Knits as well on Instagram. Leanne's like knit. Oh, I forget Leanne. Leanne reads and knits, I think. Anyways, I'll put it somewhere. I showed them. And then I reached out to Danelle. Danelle is the novel knit girl on Instagram. She has a podcast, which is Novel Knits. I'll have her link down below. And she had recently read the book or read it again. She had posted about it or something. And so I was so excited. I reached out to her and I'm like, I'm doing this. Look at what I'm doing. I'm a nerd. I was going to say a dork and a nerd at the same time. That could be a nord. A nord is a nerd and a geek mixed together. New word. Yeah, that's what happens when I record after quite a while. Anywho, I reached out to her. She got kind of excited too about it. And she's like, I'm going to reread the book. And because she really liked it as well. And she loved the idea that I was going to make book socks. And so she's like, I have yarn too. And she picked out some yarn from her stash and she got really excited about it. And she actually cast on too. I saw her version and it's awesome. So we were kind of like both going back and forth and kind of giddy out of a sock and a book, which really sounds ridiculous. But yeah. So I said, you know what? We should make this a knit along. And she said yes. So I'll put the hashtag down here. It's called Book Socks Club. Book Socks Club. Isn't that cool? So the hashtag wasn't taken. So it now is going to be taken by us or whatever. We are going to post our socks on that. I talked to Danelle and we don't want any stress out of this. We're just really excited about books and socks that are going to go together and it makes us ridiculously happy. So if that is something that makes you excited about and happy, you are more than welcome to join and post on that hashtag. It's going to be very informal. We don't even have an end date. Again, very informal. All we want is if you are excited about this stuff too and it makes you happy, then yay, and you can go and post your pictures on that. No real rules, really. What I'm going to be doing and what she's doing too, we get books or we have books and then we kind of look in our stash if we have the yarn that and just go off of that inspiration. You can use a paid for pattern, you can either use a free pattern, you can use whatever pattern you want, make something up, kind of like what I'm doing. And, but if it gives you the warm and happy feelings, then yes. Okay. So that is my third whip, which will go into some dream knitting. So for the dream knitting, it's again related to this because we kept going back and forth, me and Danelle. And I'm like, you know what? I have another book. I just bought another book, and I think I have even yarn again in my stash that has been in there for a while. I've been wanting to use it, but just didn't know. You guys, it's perfect. If I can find it. Where is it? Okay, yeah, it's right behind me. Okay. So I really like that author. I had already read some of her books as well. I'll just show this one. Anyway, this is the book. Okay, I have no shame. I don't care. So it's by Ali Hazelwood. She has some really good, cute, spicy books. Again, this is called Deep Dive. It is about a swimmer, two swimmers. One's a diver and the guy's a swimmer, and like a race swimmer or whatever. And the girl is a diver, and it's very interesting. She's a spicy meatball. Okay, this is very spicy. This is very spicy. Yeah. So if you're not into it, don't read it. Anyway, but okay, going back. This is not a book review thing. I would be horrible at reviewing books because all I want to read is romance novels because they make me happy, and like at the end everybody's happy and in love, and the end. The world is a crazy place, and this is where I escape. So anywho, I get the book. And I have the yarn with hair again. It's, oh my God, it's everywhere, guys. Okay, this is the yarn that I have for the book. How freaking perfect is it? It's so perfect. Look at those purples. It is the exact shades. Look at the blue. Look at it. Can you see? And then there's pink, but if in this book is gorgeous too. And in the, see, there's the pink there. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I'm going to show. Okay, no more book. So, but I was all excited. So that's going to be my next book sock. So I already know it's not a pattern. I already know what I'm going to do. Again, I'm going to grab another one of Nancy's stitch pattern in that sampler stitch. It kind of, I think in my head, it's going to look kind of like waves, and it's going to be textured. Anyway, so this is going to be my next sock whip. And the yarn was, I won this yarn by Lacey. Her name is Lacey. She is the Mermaid Tangles Yarn Co. I'm not sure if she's still dying, but this was something that I had won, and the yarn is Mermaid Tangles. That's the name of the yarn, and I was holding on to it for a special thing, and it's like the most perfect thing, right? Okay. It's 75, 25 merino nylon, fingering weight. Anyway, it's just perfection. I'm excited. Okay. And more to come. More to come. I think Danelle already knows the other book that she's gonna make the socks for and all that stuff. So if you want to share into this crazy dork, nerdy kind of whatever, yeah, you're most welcome. Okay. That's not the last of my dream knitting. This is the last of my dream knitting. That's not true. I have two more. Okay, I'm going to try to speed this up. Another thing that I want to cast on, which is all of the things, another one that I need to cast on soon because we're almost springtime, and that means almost summertime, which means summer knits. So this is yarn that I got last year from Yarn Indulgences. And if you can see, I'm using a lot of stash yarn, which is really good. So yeah, so this is her silken linen base. I did a t-shirt last year out of this same type of yarn in a different color. And it's so great. It's such a great summer yarn. It does have linen in it, but it's not stiff. It's very enjoyable to knit with because I don't like I don't like knitting with, I don't know how you guys knit with like straight linen. My friend Manon does it and I don't know how she does it. But anyway, this for me was totally okay. So it has silk, it has linen in it, and I absolutely adore this color. See? So this is going to be the, oh, what is it called? Seaside? Is that what it is? Where's my book? I want to make sure I give you the right title. It is a pattern by Samantha Guerin, and it's Seagrass. So the Seagrass tank, I'll put up a picture. So I need to cast on with this. This is going to be one of my summer knits. So that needs to get on the needles. And my last dream knitting is, I'm going to put up a picture first, and it is called the Indira Pullover by Anjali Diwan. And I've knit one of her patterns just a couple months ago. My Tarika sweater is by this designer, and I was looking at her patterns. This is, I'll put a picture, it is a sweater pattern, but it is a sweater pattern, a fingering weight sweater. It's a top-down construction, and I'm going to make it in a t-shirt. It's, I don't know why. I don't know why, because I really want to do some more color work right now, and might as well just, you know, do it with a t-shirt, and I think it will work. I really love the color work on the yoke, and it's going to be a t-shirt. I'm doing it in woolly wool. Well, woolly wool, it's merino wool. I work in an office where there's a lot of air condition, and and yeah, so I'm always freezing in the summer at work. So I will totally be able to wear this. It won't be a t-shirt that I'm gonna wear in 40 Celsius degrees weather, but at work, yes. So this is new yarn. Yes, I did purchase yarn. I did. But I've been really good. This is Sensible Sock, and it is by Botanical Fibers. It wasn't a sale, but she was having free shipping, and I've seen her yarns before. She is a dyer from Nova Scotia. I see her fairly often at all the fiber festivals around here, and this year I really wanted to get some yarn from her because I wanted to make a t-shirt out of her yarn. It is 80% merino, 20% recycled nylon, and it is chlorine free, and it's natural dyeing. Yes, I just want to make sure I'm saying the right things. Yes, it's natural dyeing, so it is beautiful. The color is called Moody Mauve, of course, right? You know I have color. So I grabbed 2 skeins of it, and in my stash I have a 50-gram skein of this color, and this is going to be the color of the Colorwork section, the contrast color. I think I have other options, but I think this would be more me, and I think this is going to be a t-shirt. Again, this needs to get on the needles pretty soon. Like everything else, I just want to knit all the things. It's really hard and overwhelming. Okay, that's all I have about the knitting part, which is a lot. That's my husband. It's okay. Sorry. Okay, so I was contacted by the company called LUMOS. You've seen these lights. If you follow a few podcasters, I've seen these lights pop up quite a bit lately. LUMOS sent me an email asking if they could send me some lights, some knitting lights for me to try out and to review. I am not a reviewer. I'm not professional like that or whatever, but it's something that is actually something that I will use for my knitting. I was like, okay, yes, please. That would be very, very kind. So I did. So I got the lights. a couple of weeks ago, and I have been using them quite a bit. And it comes in this really cute, look at it, it's a cute package, okay? It's just cute. But yeah, so they're knitting lights, and they're super compact. It's a little package like this, came, and then I'm gonna open it, and these are the lights. Again, I've seen this a lot lately. So these are the lights in my house, in my living room where my knitting chair is. My house is a little bit older. It's like built in the 70s, and I don't have any pot lights. I don't have any lighting basically in my living room, like from light switches or whatever. I have lamps. So it's pretty dark. I have a knitting lamp, call it a knitting lamp, besides my chair, but my eyesight has been, you know, and I've been knitting with some of the dark yarns, as you can see in my projects. So adding these for me worked out really well. So I call them neck lights. I don't know. So you put them around your neck like so, and then you can aim them however you want. And then the little buttons are on each side, and then they'll turn on. I don't want to blind the camera there, but as you can see, woo. Yeah, so there's 3 settings. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. There are 3 settings. One super bright, one has a different kind of warmer light to it, and one less bright. Anyway, so I can zoom them right in on my project where I really need that extra lighting. I actually really love it. They're super light. These are great. Also, I have to go and drive my kids around all the time, and then they go to like practices and stuff, especially my daughter for volleyball. Anyway, when I go pick her up, if I'm there like a little bit earlier and I'm in the car, it's nighttime, so it's dark, and I can have these lights. Very, very convenient. Also, you don't need to use them only for knitting. These are great reading lights if you're reading an actual paper book. Super handy for that too, because my eyesight is going and I think I need to take a little bit more care of it and not strain my eyes as much, and it helps it a lot. Anyway, let me take them off. So that's my review, really. Oh, and they're rechargeable through USB, and you get a little cord with that to charge them. So the charge is a long battery time, charge time. They last a good while, and they're so light. And this is super tiny, slick and tiny, and they're just so like malleable, and they just stay exactly how you bend them. Anyway, I really enjoyed them. So LUMOS is the company. I'll have the information down below. I got this as a present, and that's it. I'm not getting any commission or whatever if you do buy or not. So it's totally up to you, but there is a 25% off once I upload this video, and I'm gonna have a post on Instagram. That 25% will be on for, I think it's for 5 or 7 days. I'll make sure to get that information down below. I'll have to read my email again, but I think that's what it is, and then the sale is over. If you want to grab them, go for it. If you don't, that's fine. I just wanted to talk and say thank you so much to LUMOS for their very kind gift. So I'm seriously using these a lot. Okay, so good gosh, is that it? Oh, the thing is that I want to record more, but after a while, like after a couple weeks, I'm like, oh, I could record again, but oh, I don't have a lot of stuff to talk about. And then I wait too long, and then I have a gazillion things to say. Yeah, and that's all I have in my knitting book. Whew, okay. Yeah, so life stuff. Okay, I've been knitting I've been reading, and I have been commuting to kids sports. That's about it. That's what my life is all about right now, and it's okay. It's crazy. I know it won't last long. In a couple years, it'll all be done, and I will be very sad. So I need to live in a moment and enjoy all of it. So that's what is basically it for me for life stuff. Very boring life. What am I looking forward to? I am looking forward to the Fiddlehead Fiber Festival, which is in Bristol, New Brunswick, Florenceville, Bristol, New Brunswick. I think I'm saying that right. I cannot wait. It is April, oh, I'll put it down here. I think it's April 13th and 12th, I'm not sure. Anyways, and but I cannot wait to see everyone. Last year was a blast. It is a small fiber festival, but I love the small fiber festivals because like you just get to hang out with all the people, right? So many good people. Fiber friends are amazing. And so I am totally looking forward to that. And I'm saving my pennies for that because yeah, I'm probably gonna buy some yarn. Do I need to? No, but I will. Yeah, I'm not kidding myself. I am being 100% honest. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that. Next week, this week is going to be March break. The kids are off of school. I think I'm going to take a vacation day, and then my husband's going to take another vacation day, and we're both going to do stuff with the kids to keep them occupied. And that's all that I can think of right now. So I hope you're well. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did and you're still here, gosh, thank you. It really means a lot that you're here. I totally appreciate it. And if you like the episode, you can like, subscribe. If you don't want to do that, that is totally okay. I'm just happy you're here. Happy to be here with you guys. Thank you again to listen to this madness, and I hope you're knitting. I hope you're enjoying what you are working on, and I wish you love, joy, happiness, and lots of you time. Can't wait to see you again. See you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.